What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Rap Roots Media. This is the 8th interview episode. We are here with the Lazy Suzan. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Woo!
Hello. We're here.
What is up, guys?
Nothing much.
Yeah. You guys are... This is, like I said, the ambiance here is fantastic.
Yeah, it feels pretty good.
I just have all of our guests just give us a brief detail of how you got into music and, well, each of your individual stories, sort of how you guys' band came together.
Sure. I suppose I could go first. I was a student in Ferris State University, and I was walking around the College of Business one day, and I found a music studio. I stumbled upon it, and I was just hanging out in there. And then I went back the next day, and I went back the next day, and then one day he came in, and he was like, "What's up?" And I was like, "What's up?" So we became friends, and we hung out, and we played music together. We discovered we both had a love for making stuff and being creative and learning, and Rick came in the picture. We met him, and we were like, let's have a band, and we just started playing. So that's
probably the short version, but
yeah, that's my recount.
Yeah, that's a good account of it. I remember I came to Ferris too. I was in a band before this, and I've just played guitar all the time. And then I met Jackson and was like thinking about drumming a little bit. And we were at Campus Creek, which is like a small apartment. And what was really pivotal was when we got the electric drums. Mm-hmm. So then Rick kind of started jamming the bass with us. Yeah. And we all just really like the same kind of music. So I can remember times of us just listening to music and hanging out. So that's really helpful for writing songs. So we wrote some songs, and then yeah,
I think my recount is a little bit more the long end, maybe at the side of things.
Give us the spiel. I like.
Yeah, so I met Braden literally one of my first ever college parties. My first, because I transferred here. I went to community college for 2 years.
Gotcha.
And met this guy. We both bonded over the fact that we both had long hair. So.
You had short hair. I had long hair.
Well, my hair was down to my shoulders, but roughly. Growing it back out now. But met Braden, got his snap. I think there was a brief dialogue of the fact that like he was a musician. At the time, I played guitar, but I played a little bit of bass too. But long story short, never really talked at all that whole year, as in both semesters. That summer, though, I was in a summer project, and I played guitar and kind of like a band. We played a couple shows, wrote a bunch of songs. And I hit him up, I think, around like late July-ish, and I was like, hey, I'm coming back to, BR this time. Let's do something, because I don't want to stop playing. You know what I mean? Because these guys were all back home. They weren't coming with me. And
by then, we'd been jamming a little bit, too. So
I didn't know that. Yeah, lo and behold, though.
I said, Jackson, I got to introduce you to Rick.
I get a message from a unknown DM from an Instagram account I didn't know. It was Jackson Lee. And he says, come and jam. And that was in like September.
Yeah, and you were like, and I said,
I wasn't going to come. And then he said, Braden Sands is there. And I said, okay, I'll be there. Honestly, long story short.
Yeah,
the rest is history.
We both lived at College Town. So
formerly known as UPS.
UPS. And it was really cool. So I would see Rick all the time, and we'd start hanging out, So we're writing songs, and then we'd do our first show, which was a bunch of cover tunes at
some originals too.
Some originals
maybe like
at College Town. So we
in my old apartment. We did our
Nice.
first 2 shows in my apartment. Got popped by security both times, but the first one like.
People smoking cigarettes inside.
The first one was like minuscule, but the second one we had a big crowd for that. But I guess we had finished playing by the time security pulled up, like after, or the police showed up too. I heard, but these guys I knew kind of vaguely, but they were kind of wild above me. Took the blame for it, or at least that's what one dude told me.
The whole building was in on it, which was awesome because like everybody upstairs and downstairs just came, so they were cool. And I remember telling security like. They said there better not be more than 12 people in there, and I turn around and there's at least 50, 60 people in there. I'm like, yeah, there's 12 people in there. We'll be good.
Yeah, but I think we set a record for I don't know if any band has ever performed in any of those units ever. So my old apartment, H3, in the West, H West building.
Legendary.
Legendary. For sure.
So how'd the name the Lazy Susan come about?
I got to take credit for that. We were thinking in this limbo period of finding a band name, and then, of course, everybody got to pay tribute and respect to Grandma. I was at Grandma's house, and she's like, just as simple as, Braden, can you get that out of the Lazy Susan? And this was right at that time, and I'm like, damn, I need a band name, and that sounds like a good band name. So next time I came back, I introduced it to them, and I can't even remember any other band names that we were talking about. Maybe I might be wrong, but
I can tell a story about band names.
Yeah, I thought he had a different recount.
I have a good story. So I have a buddy named Merrick from high school, and he's like a weird, creative type guy. And I was like, man, you got to make us a band name. You got to come up with something. And so he like sent me some stuff, and I was like, yeah, maybe. And I was like, nah, come on, do better. I know you're capable of more. And he was like, no, he kept putting it off. So he's being a real lazy guy, and his last name is Susan, so he was being a lazy Susan, just putting this off. So it's like a weird way that wrapped around. And then he said that, and I was like, that connects weirdly.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Sure,
I
man.
contributed.
I didn't know
nothing
about
to the
that.
naming.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that at all.
That's
till like
like-
last week. So
That's funny.
And I'm like, that's a coincidence.
I have another Susan-related thing. I met him. Obviously, we're both named Braden, same spelling, everything. I met him in a class, and then I found out he has this band called the Lazy Susan. My grandmother is named Susan.
Let's
so I
go.
was like,
That
this is just
even perfect.
just-
yeah,
I don't
that's-
have any cool story about the name. I really contributed.
Yeah, at least liked it, right? Hopefully.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, I know you guys have performed lots of shows now. What is your favorite or best live performance you guys think you've ever played?
All right, I think I'll go first. I think my favorite one is probably the first favorite and or best. I think they're kind of probably the first Stewart one. I think
I agree.
It was a super snowy night, and it was
like a
it
fairy
wasn't a
tale.
last minute thing, but we did like nobody was showing up, and we were kind of getting nervous. That's when you pull out your phone and you just start like inviting people that you normally wouldn't
Texted
invite.
everybody. You just
like
text everybody that you
even
never
people that you
text,
don't
yeah.
even really like. You know, we were blowing people up, and next thing you know, boom.
You're
Snows-
inviting
It is-
ex-girlfriends
mind
and
you,
shit. You're
mind
like,
you,
just come, please.
This is like This is like a damn near blizzard. Like one of
Yeah.
the few good snowstorms we got, and dude, it was packed in there.
Ski
Absolutely
club
packed. And we played. I thought we
pulled
played
through.
so well. We finished an entire keg. Like it
Shout
was
out
awesome.
Ski Club. Shout out the fraternities. That
Shout out
pulled
to
up.
Jacob, Kaylin, Sam, Jade lived there.
yeah, this is a house.
This is like people live
For
there.
people who don't know, the Stewart
this is not a venue.
house. This
We
is
made a
living
CD
room.
out of it.
Oh yeah.
Is that an alarm going on?
Oh, that is my.
Yeah, we
Take your
made
damn medicine, damn.
we made a CD out of it. I was just thinking that too. Like, that was just the most fun I've had playing.
Yeah.
Some notable ones I would say are the second time we played at College
say
Town.
that.
We played there twice, and the second time,
Really good turnout.
yeah, that was a great turnout. And recently we played a car show, which I think was really fun.
Yeah.
As well as Williams Auditorium. I know I'm just listing off a bunch, but Williams Auditorium was pretty cool experience for us
That
too.
was probably the best exposure we've got.
Yeah, that was a very, very great performance from us as well. So
Somebody told me Rush played there, so that's cool. I always think about that. We played
yeah,
on the same
Rush,
stage as Rush.
Wiz Khalifa played on that stage. There's
Waka Flocka,
Waka Flocka.
huge names, man.
303.
Yeah.
Hey, we know those guys.
Yeah,
Can we get the Lazy Susan Waka Flocka feature?
Oh.
Dude, that'd be sick.
it's in the works.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Dude, the Waka Flocka feature would
It's
go
TBD.
crazy.
to go hard in the paint.
Anyways, I saw, I don't know if this is an upcoming thing, but Lazy Susan fans are clamoring for an album. When are we getting an album?
We're making progress actually. We've been getting somewhere recently, despite all these shows we've been playing. So our plan is to drop one or two more singles before the
Gotcha.
album, give somebody something to chew on, you know. But the album will be out summertime.
It's a good time to drop.
Yeah,
Everyone's
in the
out
middle of summer.
school,
Kick
chilling.
those down.
We're
Lazy
getting there
Susan
though.
up.
We're closer. So
We're getting there.
There we go. It's on the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Best memory while recording a song.
Jackson, you got something? A lot of the,
Well, we've kind of been filming a lot while we were recording, which is something that, like, it's been challenging. We didn't realize how much, like, effort it takes to try to produce we were trying to do a documentary of the album recording process, and having the camera on you in the studio is kind of an intimate thing. It's like behind the scenes so it's
sure.
it's a little uncomfortable to
Yeah.
be recorded. And there's one clip of Rick where he's playing the bass. He's like, "Can you get that camera out of my face?" Braden's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry." That was funny.
all my parts were back to back, and we kind of, you start and you're nervous, and then you kind of get to the point where you're comfortable, but you got to finish the whole thing too. So it's like kind of, and toward the end of it, it was like the last couple parts I was tracking, I was just ready for it to be over. Honestly, you could tell based off my face, and the camera kept getting progressively closer and closer to me on this particular part. It was kind of funny.
I had some cookies from Trader Joe's, and that was like a saving grace. Everybody was like, "I love these cookies, man."
Yeah, but I think the whole camera thing, like Jackson was saying, there's like the whole idea of like red light fever, like
Oh yeah.
recording. You put a camera, and it's fun like to look back and be like, "Whoa, that was cool," but it adds more to like the pressure because the camera's on you too.
I made music independently before I started doing this, and I only made one album, but the one album I did produce, we put out a documentary with it, and I was just like doing vocals, and even that you're like, oh god, I gotta be on point here.
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
it's on camera.
in terms of like my favorite part of recording, or a funny part that stands out, we didn't get it on camera, but I tried to do some vocal takes, and they're awful. We have the takes of them, but none of it really made it in the album. But that I just was funny because I look back and think about doing it, and then just hearing those guys laughing in there, like, "Come on, bro, we're not using that shit." So that, and doing homework in the studio, working on projects,
Eating pizza.
Yeah, eating pizza. Michael Kreppel, shout out to Michael Kreppel. He has a bunch of chickens.
Magic City Studios.
So it's kind of out in the country. So like we would go for walks and hang out, and there's all these chickens. It's kind of a cool vibe.
Good vibes in the studio is very important.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Next question. Best and worst part of being a band in such a small, sort of secluded city?
Best part, I mean, I kind of feel like we're everybody kind of knows the name now, I feel.
Yeah, probably more or less.
Give or take.
Give or take, but in terms of things happening now in Big Rapids, I mean, just in terms of frequency of paper, like...
Yeah, we're in the paper like all the time,
Yeah.
and I don't even know about it, and it's like you're a big fish in a small pond.
Yeah.
And I think the cons to it are, one that we've been dealing with recently is just saying yes a lot, because a lot of people really want us to play. So we're like kind of at our limit, or we're at our limit. So, especially with the year wrapping up,
The school, yeah.
the school, it's a lot of groups are like doing end of the year kind of stuff, so we can't say yes to everybody. That's kind of a con.
Yeah. I think the main thing is logistics, and that goes more to just moving the gear. It's planning and it's rehearsing, and I don't know if you notice now, I work a 9 to 5 now, and it's kind of like we're not overextending ourselves, but we're more methodical as opposed to just quote unquote jamming all the time, which I think like a lot of bands do. Like everything we do is kind of more has a purpose right now, and in the summer I think it's probably going to change where we can kind of step back, breathe a little bit, probably redirect and focus on writing and some other stuff. But I mean, logistics are a big part of being in a band. Most people I think don't think about that. Any group musician, you got to move stuff, you got to plan stuff, and you have to practice leading up to that.
Or
It's
just anything, not just like in bands, but like even for this, I have school, I have a relationship that I have to deal with, and family things and all of that. And then on top of that, you have this brand you're trying to build, this band you're trying to build.
You're balancing multiple things at once, and it's a lot easier said than done. You know what I mean?
For sure.
The small town aspect, again, it's great because, planning to move to GR, we kind of, in a sense, have to start all over again.
Yeah.
We have a good training ground of how to go about things. And I do think we utilized Ferris, the college, as like our launch point.
It took a minute.
And it did take a bit, but we really tapped in and associated ourselves with that willingly. So
For sure. Okay. How do you guys earn like funding for things like equipment, things like instruments? How does that money come in?
Well, Rick works. I worked for a while. We work.
yeah,
jobs.
we've been doing. We started up our T-shirt business, so that kind of just pays for itself. It gives us a little bit of extra side dough, and that's great because it's in terms of marketing, it leaves an impression. So, and we've been pretty successful with that.
Yeah, merch has been big for us.
We
We
have-
didn't do last year. We just sold like live albums. We never made shirts until in the fall, or I think wasn't even the fall. It was the first. Oh yeah, it was the fall. Yeah, first tour shows. Yeah.
But
Late fall.
we can play shows where we get paid, so it depends on the show. But that is helpful.
It kind of ties back into like, the whole smaller town thing. There's kind of less resources here, and it's easy to kind of, keep relying back on old reliable. The house parties and stuff like that, which is fun, but it's, we obviously we want to graduate from that and start doing bigger and better things. And I think that's why Grand Rapids is going to be a great opportunity for us.
For sure. Okay. I know you guys talked briefly on this, but advantages of working at Magic City Studios here in BR.
Well, being in a small town, everyone who's in like the music scene kind of knows everyone else.
Yeah.
So already, like off the bat, this was not like a foreign thing. Like this is kind of a friend of a friend. So we're already on good terms with pretty much everyone. So like Paul Quant, who is the
Shout out, Paul.
shout out Paul. He
Menu
is
management,
the-
baby.
Yeah, he's the director of I don't know the Music Business Association,
Yeah.
and he's got a big spider web of everything in the music scene in Big Rapids, and so he connected us, I guess, with Michael, and so we're all just like buddies already. So that's been nice.
Yeah, it was like a friendship first, and kind of based our work on similar interests. Even in music, we were joking about same kind of bands that we like, related to how the Lazy Suzan sounds. So going into it, we had a really a shared idea of what we wanted the album to sound like, and it was a learning experience too. He built into us.
He definitely played a pivotal role in like the producer side of things too. He wasn't just pushing record and saying, "Okay, play your part." There were many parts. I mean, I could speak from my own experience where he said, "Hey, why don't you try this, or why don't you try that, or maybe instead of that, we should do this." And looking back on it, we all needed some guidance, and I think he, provided that.
It's important to have those guiding pieces for sure, because obviously you guys are around each other so much. You start to sort of have
Echo
that
chamber.
that group think in
Yeah.
a way. So you
Exactly.
having another creative mind outside of
Oh,
that
absolutely.
really.
He would tell it like it is too. I mean, I specifically remember with
Drums,
each one
yeah.
of us, he would say, "Why don't you like stop looking around, look at what you're playing?" And I even remember going back to like with the camera in there. There was a couple times where we were like having fun, which is good.
Screwing around too much.
But
maybe a
it
little
was
bit.
kind of like, okay, like the guitar, the person who's getting the guitar take, like have them turn around from us so they don't see us messing around, just to lock in the focus. He brought that to our attention a lot, which was helpful for each one of us, I would say.
For sure.
Dad
Okay,
vibes.
so I have a bit of a game.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you guys lived together or not before I produced this game, but it's like most likely to. So you guys
Yeah.
pick who's the most
Sure.
likely to do
Shit.
any of these things. Most likely to mess up during a performance.
Rick.
Damn, they threw you under the bus real quick.
Probably, yeah.
Damn,
Probably, yeah.
that's rough.
Usually, particularly when alcohol is
What?
involved. Yeah, we can go with that.
Alrighty.
It's fine.
dirtiest in the band in terms of leaves his laundry
Jackson.
out?
Oh man,
Jackson.
I don't even live
Oh
here.
my God. Don't
I
even
mean, his
get me
fucking
started.
alarm went off.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, this guy,
know.
funniest in the band.
Ooh.
Like, what do you mean by that? Like, the funniest, are they trying to be funny, or like, yeah, that guy's funny? He's weird. He's a funny guy.
It can be either or, like the weirdest or like the quirkiest or whatever sort of fits your description, I guess.
I would say that just us hanging out makes all of us funnier. Like,
That is valid.
We
Yeah.
kind of get delirious when we spend a lot of time.
Jackson is notorious for. I can maybe give it to Jackson because we'll be talking about some serious ass shit, and he'll just like throw out an idea just to literally make us laugh, which
Yeah,
is
you gotta-
good. It's
You gotta have fun with it. Like, no matter how
Yeah.
serious you take it or no
Yeah,
matter
I
how
mean-
big you want things to be, you gotta have fun with it. If you're not having fun with it, then there's no point in it.
exactly.
I've
Yeah.
definitely got that side of it down. Yeah,
Yeah.
the opposite end of the discipline thing.
All right, final question. Best at their instrument. Who do we think is the best at their instrument? In terms of, like,
Well,
skill level and... I guess that's just best at their instrument.
I think Braden's like a really good drummer, and he doesn't even realize how good he is. But I'm trying to get better at the drums, and he's like teaching me stuff, and it's fun.
Braden was in drumline in high school, so he's got a background in
Drum
like
god.
very fundamental drumming, and
Yeah.
I played guitar in my band before, so I really kind of understand where the other instruments should be, and I think this was the project where I was really looking forward to be on the drums again. So
And he doesn't like flare. He's not like doing like, he's like playing super well, but like he just kind of is like upright, and he's just doing
not
it.
like,
He's
"Blah,
doing
It's
it.
all about
He's
his
just
posture.
doing his
Yeah.
job. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
And it's
that's
really,
true.
it's like watching him. It's like I can always rely on him to hold it down. So
Yeah.
if I mess up or whatever, because we're technically in the rhythm section together, right?
Yeah,
He's
I-
always
we're
this guy's
always
fucking up
looking-
all the
he-
time. You know?
He's always gonna hold it down, and I think that's the one. He's
Yeah.
like your drummer. Your band's only as good as your drummer, right? And he's
Mm.
like the rock in the middle, and I think you know.
a three-piece
We appreciate
band
that.
is really like we lean into each other a lot, and there's so much chemistry
Yeah.
with how the music is because it's just very dynamic.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. The guitar it's only him, so he has a big job to play, just the same as Rick does. So
I got to use a lot of delay.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
like sixth sense, kind of like we
Feel some
practice
space.
so much. We developed that chemistry where it's like, you know, what I mean, we know the song usually goes this long, but like all it takes is like one. You know, you look at them and we know, okay, we're gonna keep jamming through, and it's just kind of one of those things, and that's where we tie in with when we end. Sometimes we keep going and we don't know when we're gonna end. That's when Braden always comes in and brings everything back in. The chemistry
it's a
is
feel thing.
It's the chemistry, and
Yeah.
it's literally like a sixth sense. You can't just it takes time to develop that.
Right, we get it from playing a lot
And yeah,
I
we
think
put
it-
those
and
reps in.
listening to each other while
Our
we're playing.
music choice too, like kind of how we are friends to begin with as well. We really do like a lot of the same kind of music, and I think listen for the same things in music as each other. So that's kind of what we want to hear out of our projects.
For sure. What would be your advice to any other... I noticed you guys tap into like social media and things like that really well. And what would your advice be to other bands that are trying to market themselves or promote themselves in the best way possible? What's your advice on that front?
Don't overpost. I think overposting, I'm guilty of.
Sawyer, chill.
I don't know.
You say that I'm the only
Yeah, like promoting your content is important. Don't promote the shit out of it, but also like
Don't
don't
underpost
post
either.
5 stories at once. I think there's a real for social media and
But also,
branding.
I also
yourself.
think don't underpost though.
True,
too, because I think
true.
like if you're a huge band, you can get away with it. But some of these bands, like even big bands, you see it's like artists, whatever. It's almost like cool that they have such little social media presence, but at the same time, it's like you could be doing your job to reach more people and to grow your name better. You know what I mean? Have you noticed that?
I understand that
Yeah.
because there's a lot of hip hop artists that
but
do
it's
that.
like
that
cool.
Try to
It's
be,
like yeah.
They try to be very
Limited
cool and
edition.
mysterious.
Yeah.
And
and then they delete posts.
yeah, I
You
think
know?
that
That was the thing before social media. Now with social media, you really
I think you should put it all out there. Really tap into having your music on these apps. How you distribute your music is important because you can make content that utilizes your music while also giving other people the ability to use it when they make content. And don't underutilize it. Leave every stone turned because like
There's a happy
YouTube,
medium.
TikTok,
Yeah, like there's so
everything.
many different, like with Rap Roots, I'm trying to like, it's very much so a diversification of content of how
Yeah.
you put out your content.
it's a must. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
like-
You gotta
So,
find the happy medium.
With Instagram, that's definitely my most used because we're posting like hip hop news and clips and all of this. That's definitely the most used. But we also we throw the clips specifically on TikTok,
Yeah.
and then the long form is YouTube, and then you also use the shorts aspect
Exactly.
of that.
And shorts, don't underestimate shorts. That's
Shorts
the
go
other thing.
crazy.
The shorts are awesome. I like making short form content because you can check off all the boxes. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. You can post the same video 4 times, and it might do half as good on one platform as the other. It just the consistency is key as well.
I'm also going to take this chance to plug our Patreon. $2 a month, you guys get a shitload of exclusive content, vlogs, album reviews, all that shit. Go
$2 a
tune in.
month. You heard the man.
There you go.
check it out.
Less than a soda.
That's what I
Yeah,
figured. It's like,
yeah.
like you guys go to Starbucks and Big B all the time. Join the Patreon. Show some love.
Patreon.
There we go. All right. I noticed you guys
Manscaped
are
3.0.
Not yet.
So I noticed you guys are doing the 4-Star Sonic Festival. What are your plans for your guys' set? That's tomorrow. So tell me, you guys, about your plan for your guys'
Classified.
set tomorrow. You're not gonna give me nothing, man.
We're
We
basically
were pretty much decided on a 35-minute kind of avant-garde section of just kind of sounds,
Sounds. And
it'll be our whole album.
exploration. Yeah, we're gonna
all of our original songs that are going to be on the album.
Acapella in there.
All 6 songs.
well, so far we might add more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
so
you guys
far.
should do a Hannah Montana cover. Tape.
Yeah.
It's
I'm a big
a 7 song.
I'm a big fan of Party in the USA. So.
Yeah, we've talked about doing Party in the USA.
Dude, that'd be so good.
We have.
That'd
The
be
guitar
so
part's
good.
sweet in that.
Yeah. It'll be 6 songs. We've been running through them these past few days, and I'm feeling excited about it. I like playing our original songs, more than doing covers, because a lot of times we have to play covers, and
Yeah.
It's fillers.
some covers are great. I look forward to other ones. It's like, okay, but our original songs are just
They're
there
ours,
in the head,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's real easy to tap in with that.
And they're ours. There's something to be said about performing your music,
Your
as
own creative
opposed
work,
to
yeah.
something that someone else created. And you're just kind of trying to fill time with.
Well, if you guys need any filler, I think Party in the USA is the way to go.
Not wrong.
Wrecking Ball's a good one as well, if you guys need
That
some.
one's more of her.
I would do the
yeah.
Choreography of that.
Dude,
Yeah.
dude, bring
It's
it
more
over.
ambitious.
Wrecking Ball.
That's a more ambitious piece.
That'd
from
be
her
so
work.
good. It'd be so good.
Get you up now and make it.
I've gotten through all of my big questions, so we can just
Yeah.
sit here and chat for
Yeah,
a minute.
man.
We can get what we get, and
Yeah.
What's your? I'm gonna switch around. Who's your favorite? I guess rapper or yeah.
Artist.
I got the Mac Miller hat on, Mac Miller shirt on. That's my
Oh,
guy.
okay.
I like Mac Miller a lot.
His NPR is good.
I like
Tiny
the
Desk.
Tiny Desk a lot. That's actually the shirt is the Tiny
Thundercat,
Desk.
bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. That is a sweet shirt.
He was actually Thundercat. I didn't realize this. He was in the band Suicidal Tendencies when he was like 19.
Oh wow,
It's like a
Damn.
heavy punk kind of like thrash metal band.
that's very interesting considering his music now.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
It's just really cool.
If you could see one Tiny Desk artist that you haven't seen yet, on that
I haven't
platform?
seen yet. That hasn't been on Tiny Desk yet.
yeah.
Metallica.
Slayer.
311 just did a dope one. I saw that.
I think Radiohead. They have one of the best. I think they have one. Or am I thinking of the Basement?
That's a tough question.
Yeah.
I've never been asked questions like this on these interviews. This is
Elton John.
When the table's
Elton
turned,
John.
like a mini keyboard.
Damn. I like this new rapper 4Bats has been doing really well right now.
What about G-Mac Cash?
I don't know who that is.
You don't?
You might have to tap me in.
You never heard that?
Never heard of him.
The Lions won again.
Oh yes, I do know who. I didn't know that
I
was
found
him.
his
Rap
TikTok.
legend.
It's actually funny.
G-Mac Cash.
Yeah,
Tiny
he'll
Desk
get on here.
Dog.
No, I found his TikTok, And I'm not initially from Detroit, but like I guess he has hardcore, or I'm not from Michigan. He has like hardcore Detroit roots, and he's like, for Michigan. That's awesome.
Is he the one that did like the Big Gretsch song too?
Yeah, dude, like
his
TikTok is hysterical.
That's great.
I stumbled upon it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is funny.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's.
You guys got any other questions for me? This is great. I've never done this before.
Braden might.
Dude, I mean,
what's your overall philosophy on just life and outlook, and goals?
That's
laying it on heavy.
This is where Jackson's. Yeah.
Damn, I'm just having fun with it day by day.
Yeah.
And trying to build this brand. I want it to be the biggest hip hop publication in the world, and it starts with a single step. So I'm just continuing every day making content and pushing to be the best.
Have you networked with any other hip hop artists in Big Rapids?
I'm doing an interview with SGB Lil Strobe next week.
Awesome.
That will be a fun one.
Yeah, Strobe. I know Strobe. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Shout out to Strobe.
Chatting with him, getting things put together.
Good.
Yeah, we're working, man.
Awesome. Yeah, man. That's
Boobies
good.
or butt cheeks?
Both.
Okay.
Yep.
It's the best answer.
Awesome. Yeah.
You guys got some great questions here.
Good variety. You kind of get
Are
the
you
general sense
into
of the
rock
day.
music at all?
I was definitely coming up as a child. I was definitely introduced to a lot of classic rock, like on the radio kind of thing. So my parents are definitely like classic rock people. So my dad especially loves a lot of classic rock. So when I was a kid, that was definitely like my favorite music genre, and then I sort of found my way into hip hop, and I like all sorts of stuff. I dabble.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite Michigan rappers?
Ooh. My thing with Michigan rap, like especially the newer people that are coming out, I think the scene as a whole needs to diversify.
Okay.
So I think what we have now is good, like especially in like Grand Rapids, Flint, Detroit, those areas, it's good, but I think it definitely needs some diversification.
Needs something different.
Yeah.
I agree. I want to see a band on stage. It happens.
Yeah.
With big productions.
Yeah.
I want to see some live instrumentation a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of producers that I was just talking with a producer the other day, and I was asking him, what do you prefer more, live instruments or like working on the computer kind of thing? And I definitely prefer listening as a fan. I was saying I definitely prefer the live instrumentation over all else.
Yeah. I think it's cool when artists do versions of songs that maybe were produced one way, and then all of a sudden they have a string section on stage or like a drum set.
Takes a lot to coordinate and.
Oh yeah, big budget, but
worth
might
it.
happen. Yeah, it might happen. So, will you be attending 4-Star Theater Festival tomorrow?
I got to go to my girlfriend's house. I got some things to do, family stuff.
No worries, man. Thought I'd throw it out there. You said you're from GR.
Yeah, I'll definitely come out to a show. Send me the link to some tickets, dude.
Definitely.
I gotta make it to a Lazy Suzan show for sure.
Where about in GR? Did I want to disclose it to you?
Like northeast area. Yeah.
Nice. Sweet, man. Awesome. Yeah, but we'll be moving down to GR and playing some shows.
Yeah, dude, stay tapped in. If you guys ever want another interview, I'm not opposed to that at all.
Of course,
for sure.
yeah.
Bro, we got to start the podcast.
Yeah,
dude. I'll make all of you the co-host. All four of us. If I ever need just like an episode, we'll just do a boys only episode.
Bro, it's gonna be like Joe Rogan with
Joey Diaz.
Joey Diaz. Like we're gonna be in like 15 years. It's gonna be like Lazy Suzan episode 16.
I had an idea for that.
16,
I gotta
That'd
say, I had an idea for a Lazy Suzan podcast.
Yeah, I want to do that.
It's kind of like what you're doing. It's like
Rick didn't like it.
He didn't like the idea, but maybe
a Lazy Suzan podcast.
You gotta have.
I think you guys should bring on a different woman named Susan every episode.
That would be. I don't
Bring
know
on
if
my
I
grandma
know
Sue,
very
dog.
many
My grandma
people.
Sue would spit some bars on here for sure. My grandma Sue would spit some bars.
My grandma would probably say some racist stuff.
My grandma would spit a 16. She would do it. You put on a good beat for her, she'll spit one.
I want to see that.
The grandma Sue episode is next up.
Yeah, my dad used to say you got to keep the main thing, and I think the main thing right now is trying to write and play good music.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think
sure.
right now
It's like a
That's
Lazy
the
Susan,
focus.
man. There's all sorts of stuff on
Yeah, there's
there.
all
You can
sorts of
spin it.
different. Yeah, you just give it a little spin, and there's a
Yeah.
whole new set of array of spices.
That's what social media is for, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we kind
Diversification.
of have this fun thing where I don't claim to be good at making shorts, and it's kind of like an awkward thing
Jackson's
to pull us
great
all
at it.
together and be like, let's make a short. You know, I mean, it's kind of, I don't know, it's a little unnatural to me, but
Pants are really easier
yeah, wearing like
than shorts.
capri pants.
Yeah.
I think we make a lot of shorts out of content. We film and record every show that we do, so that's, I guess, another thing to know.
I prefer sweats over personally. Yeah.
Sweatshirt.
Never catch me in sweats.
We record every show, and
Yeah.
so we just make our content out of that,
Yeah.
really, and just post highlights of it. But
Shout out Grateful Dead
Make-
for that idea.
Yeah, making content isn't as hard as people make it out to be. If you really put the effort forth to make good content, you will.
yeah,
Like, I just took my girlfriend to a show at the intersection. I was like, I'm just going to make a vlog out of this because I wasn't thinking about it, but I was like, this would be a great vlog, and people get the insight into me a little bit where they wouldn't necessarily on an interview. So
Sure.
that's what I'm doing with the Patreon content,
Yeah.
is sort of having it be more, if you want look into my life, then you can check out the Patreon, is what I'm trying to do with it, and have it be a bit of a
We should do that.
diversification.
Tomorrow we should do like backstage vlog.
yeah,
We
yeah.
probably will tomorrow.
We
I
got
li-
so
I
much
like-
footage.
Rick, you
to
could be
go
in charge of
over.
that.
we have an influx of footage. We got 3 shows we
Gigabytes.
got to edit.
That's
Like
so much.
a lot of content. That we're moving into that phase of like refining some of that, and I
Photos
think
too. Max is
yeah.
just
Shout out to Max. Max
chill.
has been taking some great photos of us, and there's just
We appreciate
a
him.
lot of good content, man.
Yeah, I got to find some good camera people for some of these events.
Call
I got
Max.
going on.
Yeah.
Once I get some media work, I got my first media event coming up here. Got to find some good camera people. But
Absolutely.
yeah,
Shout out to Andrew Andrew Boucher. He filmed our shows in 360 video. I
awesome.
don't know if you've seen any of it.
Never
but
before.
360 cameras.
actually there was
Cutting
2 on
edge.
stage, correct?
Yeah, we had
That's
2.
720 vision
And
for
my
the
GoPro.
layman's.
Dude, if you guys ever
Sorry.
have a 360 show, I'm just twerking the whole time. The whole show, I'm
Exactly.
just twerking.
Man, we'll play Wrecking Ball.
Dude, if you guys play Wrecking Ball, it's up. It's
Let's
up.
go.
Awesome.
Thinking
All
all
right, I
sorts of
think
camera
we're
attachments.
good. I think this interview
Sweet.
has been
Break.
wonderful.
Break.
Sounds good.
Make sure you guys check out the website, subscribe, raprootsmedia.com, Raproots Media on all socials, Lazy Suzan on all platforms. Check them out tomorrow if you haven't
Susan
already
with a
gotten your
Z.
tickets. Susan with a Z.
Yes, that's important.
Susan.
Yeah.
All right. You guys enjoy the content. We're going to have plenty more interviews coming up real soon. Peace out, y'all.
See ya.
Noggin, dog. Can we? I will keep that in, please. I'm keeping that in. That's fire.
Yeah, we'll give you the footage.